What up, guys? I haven't posted in a while, but I made a post yesterday on Instagram talking about some financial things, especially in the startup world, taking equity, taking those long shots. And a lot of people actually hit me up about living with their parents in their 20s and 30s. So I lived with my mom from when I was 22 to 23. I ended up taking over her house to expand my business. Basically, I went from my buddy's place, he's let me stay there, to my mom's house. It was definitely a decrease. You always want to decrease in those like life levels when you want to actually really expand. I didn't think the 2K a month for warehouse space is worth it. So kind of the 5 tips I give people to really focus on getting out of your parents' house or even living with their parents are these 5. So number one, the biggest one is focus on your why. Why you're staying at your parents' house? Is that you need cash? You're building a business? You want to buy a house? You don't know what you're trying to do in life? Anything along those lines? Very very helpful to know your why that you can focus on getting that why. I'd only say stay at your parents' house if you have that why. If you don't have that why, then it's kind of a way to stay at your parents' house, and they just constrict you as much as possible, and it actually constricts that growth, which is not good. So, example for me, I wanted to grow a business. I was doing very good my first year, so I want to do those next steps, and I need to take a step back with my mom to decrease those costs to really expand. That money that I didn't spend on a rental place or whatever it may be, I could put back in my business and really move forward. Number two is you need your own space. So your parents are trying to invade your space. That it's their house, so they can technically, right? But you want to have your own space you can go back to and kind of relax and decompress. I have an example. I know this guy in his mid 20s, and his parents still go through his items and his personal belongings, like look for stuff that could be drugs or anything along those lines, whatever they think this kid's doing. That is so wrong and very toxic, in my opinion. You either need to sit down with your parents or leave as soon as possible. Having your own space, this way you can decompress from the nagging when your parents are nagging, or you can just retreat back when you want some peace of mind so the parents aren't talking as much possible. I know I'm more of an introvert, so this actually really helps me a lot. So number three is focus on that growth. When you know your why, you should focus on going to get that why and becoming a better person. That could be financially, that could be socially, anything along those lines. You sure need to know your why. So take that why and figure out how you're going to get there. So for me, it was going to my mom's house and fully focus on my business 24/7. For you, it could be starting a side hustle. It could be getting a promotion to increase your money, right? Take a step back. Since you have less financial responsibilities at this point, I would say take a step back and take a breath, right? Think what you want to do. This doesn't mean relax or slack. Just take a step back instead of grinding consistently. You can actually take the whole playing field and then you can actually start going towards that playing field. Because when you really want to scale something or become very big or move forward, you need to focus fully on one point. Number four is start a side hustle, especially if you need more cash or you're trying to buy a house or you're trying to build a business. Anything along those lines, I love side hustles for this. Take your normal day job, they're working 40 hours a week, and the other time actually work at it. I had a conversation with my buddy yesterday about this. You can control your work ethic, especially on side hustles. So I highly recommend doing it, and your work ethic is going to dictate how much money you can make off especially when you have not as many financial responsibilities, you can taste a lot of side hustles. If that's making $100 writing script, and that's flipping something online, if that's doing Amazon, eBay, I know that's my big thing. You can do Upwork and become a virtual assistant for a certain topic. You can do sales for somebody, right? There's so many people that you can do. You can do all these side hustles. And that can really, really move you forward, especially if you have least financial responsibilities at your parents' house. This is so, so, so helpful. Cool. Number four is exiting, right? So this is the time when you want to know when you want to leave your parents' house. The biggest thing I've seen, especially with like this is definitely an entrepreneurship community, if not just in general, people try to move directly above, right? So your parents are comping your rent for nothing, and you try to move to a $2,000 apartment. That's a bad jump, right? Start small. First, you want to go to a $400 room share where you're sharing a bunch of rooms in house, right? 500 bucks, 600 bucks, whatever it may be. Then get a single bedroom apartment, cheap, then get a two-bedroom apartment if you want to make a little more space, or a house, or anything along those lines. Start small and then start going up from there. I highly recommend getting out of your parents' house as soon as you possibly can. That is because it's I know personally it wasn't a very good mental state you can be in, especially like the whole feeling of being like not good enough or along those lines, right? You see that a lot. Even I had it, right? I'm like, why am I living in my parents' house? I'm a failure at 22, 23, whatever it may be. That's not a very healthy mentality. Also, when you have enough money, but again, don't go overboard. In my opinion, your rent should be 10 to 20% of your max income. My rent's a lot lower than that. It's about like 0.002%. I don't like spending money on rent, but I've heard like this guy's parents that were sticking through his stuff. Um, what I saw there is like they're so afraid for him to spend $1,000. And don't get me wrong, this kid, like they have a lot of money in the bank. Like there's no reason why this kid should be in at his parents' house. Like they have a lot of money, more money than I have, their parents and him alone. So keep moving forward. Try to get that mental state clear. Remember, you're not a failure if you live in your parents' house. You're just going to the next step and you're focusing on yourself. So those are the 5 tips I have. If you like it, let me know. I can always do things again. Hopefully this is helpful. Try to put out some good content for you guys.